Welcome, everyone. Good boy, Tucker. This is learning at its most fun.
Which segues us perfectly into another Building Your Tech Stack with Redtail. I am so excited to be joining you all again. Once again, my name is Jackie. I'm one of the product knowledge experts and trainers here at Redtail. And like I said, today we are hosting Rushi from YCharts, and he is going to go ahead and tell you all about some of the wonderful features that we integrate directly with and some of the benefits of using YCharts. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to Rushi, and he can take it over for today.
Yeah, thanks, Jackie, and really excited to be here. I hope a lot of people on the call have heard about the Redtail and YCharts integration. It's one we're really excited about. It was actually one of our first integrations we rolled out like towards the beginning of last year, and it's been a fun one. And I love talking with the Redtail team and working with everyone there. So really excited to be here to talk through YCharts in general, the integration, how you can leverage it. Just all that. It's super exciting. I wanted to start off by just jumping into what is YCharts, who is YCharts, and give you a quick intro for anyone who's new to the platform or just heard about it. I know our marketing team does a great job branding and getting our name out there. So I'm sure you've seen us on social media or LinkedIn or other places or conferences where we tend to attend a lot of those. But basically just a quick sentence about who is YCharts. We're an investment research platform. So we provide data and analytics on all things related to the markets and investments. And we love advisors who come to us for that research use case and for that client communication use case. So both of those really tie into what we do here at YCharts. We're rated pretty well because of the intuitiveness of our tool. I have a little screenshot here, or a little visual of how YCharts, like our charting tool, works. It's really just an easy to use platform that people love having up on a screen throughout the day to keep an eye on the markets and really do their research and reporting with us. So with that, I wanted to talk a little bit about the integration today and also give you a little bit more of a product demo. I'll start with this quote from Terry, who's a very happy YCharts and Redtail user. Terry has leveraged the integration to import portfolio holdings from Redtail into YCharts and really stay in tune with what's going on in Redtail and connect that data with YCharts and use both seamlessly. So I'm excited to talk a little bit more about what Terry meant in this quote and just talk about how you can also leverage the same amazing benefits that Terry does. So I wanted to start off by giving more of a high-level use case overview of what people use YCharts for. And we have these key benefits here on the right. AUM growth and retention is at the top of the list. That's what advisors love YCharts for. It saves significant time for them as well. I think we did a survey a few years back, and we continue to see the same results. People are saving hours in their week by using YCharts and doing their research with us. So it's really that key benefit of getting hours back in your day so that you can spend that time with your clients and really explaining to them what their investments mean, which in a time like now is super important. And the way we do that is this. I like explaining this with this cycle here on the left. And there's 5 different components here. And I'll start way on the left with market and portfolio monitoring. I mentioned how advisors love having YCharts open on their monitor throughout the day because of some things like dashboards and alerts that we have on the tool. They're able to know exactly where their client positions are at, exactly where the markets are at a time like now when Powell's on TV making some comments. You want to keep an eye on the markets, and that's what YCharts is for. In addition to that, you move into the research and analysis. So now that you're keeping an eye on the market, you also want to maybe use YCharts for that idea generation, to find new holdings, to use our screening tools, our tables tool, really just to pull data very quickly and find those new investments. YCharts is a great place for that. But once you've done that research, once you've you've done the fun parts of, investing and looking at data, maybe on stocks or funds. The other whole aspect of the advisor workflow is really meeting with clients and talking to clients and talking about portfolio strategies and what's going on with their portfolio. Because at the end of the day, that's what's really important, right? Is connecting, what you know about the markets with your end client. And that's where this integration has been so impactful for so many users. It's really in that portfolio construction process. Initially, when you had to create a portfolio in YCharts or, just getting that data from one tool to the other, you'd have to do it manually, whether that's a spreadsheet or typing in those holdings one by one. We know that can get pretty cumbersome with all the clients that you have at your firm. So we did an integration with Redtail where, we know that you have that data within Redtail and your account information, and I'll show where you can find that within your Redtail account. And pulling that data into YCharts is great because then you could do that portfolio analysis right within our tool. So that's kind of that first part, that portfolio construction. That's where this integration comes into play. But once you've imported that portfolio, here's where we make things really easy on YCharts. You have that portfolio in here. You can do side-by-side reports. You could do charts. You could pull data on those underlying holdings. Maybe your client gives you a call and says, hey, what's going on with this stock in my portfolio? You have their portfolio ready in YCharts and you could pull that data within seconds. So it's really that proposal, client communication use case that I'm really excited to show today as well, and how that all works. The last thing I'll mention, and I'll mention it because I do want to cover this too, is that advisor-client alignment. And it's really that side-by-side analysis of saying, in a time like right now, you're probably reflecting with your clients and asking, or they're asking, what happened in 2022? How are we positioning ourselves in 2023? And what matters? And using our advisor-client alignment tools and workflows is going to be really helpful for you as you're gearing up for those client meetings. So let's go right into YCharts and Redtail. I want to show both of them together, and I'm just going to share my screen here and cover how to get the integration set up, and also cover a lot of the things I just mentioned. So Jackie, are you seeing the YCharts screen up?
I am, yes.
Perfect. So I'm just going to jump right into our dashboard here on YCharts, and this is that market monitoring home base where you can really view that market information throughout the day. I could see, the markets intraday. I could see my client portfolios, my client holdings. Maybe I want to look at what's going on in terms of the economy. Really, this dashboard's that great home base to understand, what's going on and what you want to keep an eye on. This is fully customizable as well, so I can resize this. I can make multiple dashboards if I want one for fixed income, for example, or the U.S. economy, and really I can view all that data here within our tool. And let's say, through this conversation or through this client meeting that you're preparing for, you really want to get a perspective on what the markets have been doing. We have great resources on YCharts to get that information. So, we have this dashboard that you could build by yourself, but we also have resources available to you. The one I wanted to cover today, because it is pretty timely with the year just ending, is our econ summary deck. So within resources, you can go to our econ summary deck and find it. I actually have it open just to give you a little preview. And this is really impactful for just kind of talking through what's going on with the economy. Maybe you want to get up to speed with how different asset classes performed. We build this out internally. Our team here builds these charts out for you. You can use them in your presentations or in your client meetings. Maybe you're looking at this and you're about to meet with your client and you've noticed, in 2022, maybe US value was towards the top of performance, even though it was negative. Growth stocks and small cap and some other asset classes were towards the bottom. And that's really giving you an idea of how you want to reposition your client's portfolio. We have a lot of great stuff in here. I won't cover it all, I'll just quickly scroll through it, but this is a great place to start and say, now I have my talking points for 2022. I've looked at the economy. I know what's going on. Now let's jump into my client and let's prep for that meeting. And that's where YCharts is great because, or YCharts and Redtail and that integration, because within Redtail, and I just have a sample account for myself. Hopefully this is how it looks for you. We have our overall accounts and emails and contacts and everything here. Mine looks pretty blank, but I'm sure you have a lot more within your Redtail accounts. When I go into accounts, I can see the underlying accounts that I'm managing and the actual clients that are associated with those. So if I click on open here, I could see some sample accounts. Today we're going to talk about Bruce Wayne. Maybe I'm meeting with him next week and I'm prepping for that meeting. And this is exactly the data that you're going to be able to pull into YCharts. So if you have this account view open on your end, if I click into this brokerage account, I can see Bruce's holdings. So hopefully that's what you see on your end as well. I'm sure if you're not, someone at Redtail can help you get that set up, but I have all this data available. I have my holdings information. I'm able to really understand where Bruce is at. And where this integration is impactful is now let's take a look at some of these holdings and let's prep some talking points to talk with Bruce about. Couple ways to access that integration with YCharts. The first one is if you're familiar with this integrations drop down here, you'll notice all the integrations available to you. If I scroll all the way towards the bottom, you'll see YCharts there. If you're not seeing YCharts there, you do have to just click on your name and click on manage your integrations within your Redtail account. And then you could just turn on YCharts here at the bottom. So that's how you'll activate YCharts within your Redtail account. It's really easy. Once you have that activated, you just click on here and it takes you straight to YCharts. Once you're in YCharts, if you didn't want to do it that way and you wanted to actually activate it from your YCharts account, the way you could do that is hover over support and click on integrations. This is where we have all of our integration partners listed. So you'll notice, pretty exciting, we actually are integrated with Orion and Redtail. So if you're using both, we're glad to have both integrations. That way, all three tools can work pretty seamlessly, which is great. But for Redtail specifically, you can click on manage and click on activate. You'll notice mine's already active, but yours might say something like inactive, and you could just quickly log into your Redtail account and you're ready to go. Pretty seamless way to just connect the two platforms. All right, so once you're connected, now you're ready to go. You're ready to start importing Bruce's portfolio. So I'm going to go ahead and click or hover over tools and click on model portfolios. So this is the spot within YCharts where you can build out whether you have models at your firm, whether you have different types of client portfolios, any type of portfolio here, you can go ahead and create within your model portfolio menu. And the way you do that from Redtail is you could click on import holdings and you could click on Redtail. So from here, I'm meeting with Bruce. So I'm going to go ahead and search for Bruce and I'm going to click on that client's name. If you search, you might have multiple Bruces or all those will show up and you can click on the correct one. And once you hit next, you'll notice all of Bruce's accounts. So I believe this is the one that we were just looking at within Redtail. Let me just go to accounts. Yep, it was that 415 account here that Bruce has. So I'm going to go ahead and click that 415 account and hit import. And that takes about 3 to 5 seconds there. You saw how quick it was, and you'll notice all this data is going to match what you're seeing in Redtail, which is pretty great. It was all just one click. You didn't have to type all this data in. You'll see all those dollar amounts for your holdings. You have different settings up here as well. If you wanted to change the benchmark, if you wanted to add an advisory fee here, change some of the settings. I might just change the name instead of brokerage account. I might just add in Bruce Wayne brokerage account in there and go ahead and save that down. So now that I've saved it down, that portfolio will take about a minute or so to calculate as we are taking all those holdings and backtracking all that information. So you have all that great data I'm going to go ahead and clear my filters and let's see where this portfolio is at. All right, looks like it's ready. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that portfolio. You'll notice that this portfolio has all those holdings listed here. That portfolio value should match what you're seeing in Redtail as well, which looks like it is. Now I will make a couple points here about this portfolio and YCharts. It is all hypothetical returns based on your current allocation. So it's not going to be your true portfolio performance looking back. It's more so just kind of showing your allocations and data from what your holdings are currently. So hopefully that making sure that is a point you make with your clients will be pretty important. But once you're in this portfolio, I mean, there's a lot of great data here on Bruce's portfolio that you could talk through. So maybe you want to talk about Bruce's portfolio performance and you want to talk about 2022. So you have that data right down here. You could see Bruce's portfolio maybe underperformed the market. You could talk through, what went on there. You could also click on holdings and understand what holdings are within Bruce's account. I'm noticing a lot of allocation towards Intel and Adobe. Maybe I want to take a look at that and say, maybe there's an opportunity to revisit those or rebalance this portfolio to match what we're thinking for 2023. Also, it's great. You can look at allocations and say, all right, this overall portfolio has 77% in stocks, 13% in bonds. Maybe that's a little bit aggressive for Bruce's age and where he's at in his life, and you want to rebalance some of those things. So all that is possible here. You could view all this data, and kind of going back to this talking point of how do we want to prep these meetings in 2022? Maybe you want to say, maybe we want to reposition this portfolio. Let's go out and find some new ideas. Going back to that econ summary deck that I mentioned before, perhaps you're looking at value as being more of a play this year as opposed to growth, and noticing that Bruce's portfolio might be a little misaligned with those expectations. You can have a conversation with Bruce about let's propose a new idea. Let's propose a new portfolio. And before I do that, I'm going to go and find some new investment ideas. So I have Bruce's portfolio here. Let's go find maybe a value ETF, something that's a little bit more diversified than an individual stock. And I'm going to use our screening tool to do that. So I'm going to go into our fund screener and I'm going to say, you know what, I need to find Bruce a new ETF, an equity ETF, and maybe it's something in the value bucket. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this new template that we have within YCharts. These templates are basically pre-canned screens that you could just pull and view that data within YCharts. So top value funds, let's take a look at the list. Maybe there's something in here that catches your eye. You want to understand a little bit more about some of those top value funds and screen down the full universe of funds to find something that matches your criteria to put into Bruce's portfolio. So this will take just a few more seconds to load, and then we could take a look at the results. Looks like we have about 354 funds coming through. So from a universe of around 70,000 funds, getting that down with one click down to 350, I'm sure that's pretty powerful and just an easy way to get through all those funds out there and find the one that's right for you. And right here, I have my results. I have those 350 funds. I'm looking at these ranked by return. So these are the funds that performed the best over the last year that match these criteria. So they're all large cap, mid cap, small cap value funds. Based or domiciled in the US. They actually rank in the top 50 of all funds in terms of 3-year, 5-year, 10-year, and 1-year return. So really these are the outperformers within that value section. And the one I might catch my eye, this mid cap fund, maybe that's something that I want to focus on. Small cap underperformed last year as well. Perhaps this is a fund that you want to do some more due diligence on. So I'm going to go and take that fund and take a look at this fund further. So that's what I did there was I just opened that fund page from the screener. And now I'm looking at RFV. I can do a ton of analysis on this fund as well and prep for my conversation with Bruce. Why are we investing in RFV? What about this fund is catching my eye? I have all that information at my fingertips with YCharts, and I can say, you know what, from a performance perspective, from an allocation perspective, this fund, it does well. The expense ratio is low. It's not going to cost you as much. You know, it's just a good option for us to get out of Intel and Adobe a bit and reposition ourselves into this mid-cap value fund. So you have that thesis. Now, how are you going to communicate all of that to Bruce? Well, YCharts has a lot of amazing reports that you can use to actually have this information in front of you while you're meeting with Bruce. So I can go ahead and click on reports. And for RFV specifically, so if you wanted to pull this data up with your client in the meeting, you could go ahead and click on tear sheets. And we have this clean one-page report, super easy to read and just kind of view the most top-level data on RFV. So right here, I can take a look at it and print this out for Bruce, or maybe pull it up during the meeting and say, here's what we're looking at for that new investment. It's pretty powerful just to get that PDF report. So now you're at the stage of, you know what you want to change Bruce's investments to, your 2023 thesis, you've used YCharts for both of those, but let's get aligned with our client. Let's get aligned with Bruce and show him what potentially he could be looking at if we do reposition the portfolio to this. And that's where what I did within YCharts was I actually created a proposed portfolio for Bruce. So I took Intel and, let's see here. I took Intel and Adobe and lowered those allocations, and I added allocations to RFV. I already created this portfolio within my account, but you'll notice this proposed portfolio for Bruce has it has Adobe and INTC at 5% instead of the 20 or so that it was before. We also have that 15% allocation in mid cap, that RFV fund. And also the allocation data, the asset class breakdown is a little closer to 50-50. Maybe Bruce is a little bit more focusing on capital preservation this year rather than being heavily invested in the stock market. So I repositioned the overall allocation for Bruce to around 50-50. So it aligns a little bit more with what Bruce is looking for in his portfolio. So how am I going to talk to Bruce about this in my meeting? Well, I talked about reports. We also have a great charting tool. We have this little quick flows menu here, and I can pull in this Bruce portfolio. I could pull in Bruce's current portfolio. And then let's just pull in the S&P 500 for comparison's sake. I have all three of these here. Let's just get that performance chart ready to go for Bruce. So with one click of a button, I'm now comparing where Bruce is currently, where we want to take Bruce's portfolio, and the S&P 500. And I can talk through, hey, you know what, in 2022, if we had used it, a little bit more of a safer asset class breakdown, or maybe we were invested in value, this would have looked a little differently in 2022. And you could talk through that and say, instead of losing 29%, we might have been closer to what the market did overall. This is all hypothetical, but it could be a way that you can position your client meetings. And lastly, what you could do then is go back into that in Bruce's portfolio, and let's create that report that I was mentioning, that side by side. So I could click on report here, and I could go ahead and create a comparison report. And I'm going to do a comprehensive report with a benchmark. Let's go ahead and compare Bruce's brokerage with that proposed portfolio. So I'm going to generate that PDF. Now I can, with that tear sheet I mentioned of just RFV, I can also pull up this report with Bruce and say, all right, here's what the breakdown is of those two portfolios. We have performance on here. We have asset class allocation. Maybe you want to talk about region exposure. And then we just have a lot of cool sections in here, like a scatter plot. And maybe something that's really important to talk to Bruce about is the holdings, right? And really explain, hey, look at what you were at. You were at 28% in Intel, 23% in Adobe. We repositioned that for you to align more about what we think is best for 2023. And with what's going on with the markets, we want to be a little bit more diversified into mid caps and value, and that's why we made that change as well. And this report is also great because you can add your firm colors, your firm logos to it. If you have a custom disclosure you want to add in here, you can add that here at the bottom as well. There's just a lot of customization here that you could do that will help you for your client meetings. So now I've got everything ready to go for my client meeting with Bruce. I've done my research. I've looked at some new ideas using the screening tool. I've built those portfolios out using the Redtail integration and that proposed portfolio as well for Bruce. How can I go ahead and get all this ready for my meeting? Well, I was able to find something pretty cool in Redtail where I can actually go to Bruce's account and I could actually add a note in here. So I have a note here with my meeting documents from YCharts. And I just linked 5 different documents that I just pulled. A few of those were during this webinar. And I was able to attach all those PDFs ready to go. I made a note to send this to Bruce after the meeting is complete, but it's great because I have a couple of these tear sheets of INTC and Adobe, so I can talk through those. I have the RSV one ready to go, and I also have that PDF report side by side, so I could click right here and it's gonna download that. So everything's all in one place. It's all organized within Redtail, and all the data is in YCharts, and I could seamlessly use both tools together. And that's it. So I'm gonna pause there and see if there are any questions. But that was the gist of how that integration works, and hopefully you saw the value and impact there.
Wow! Oh my goodness, that was robust. Oh my god, I've only seen a small portion of it just from my experience with my clients, but I had no idea that you could do so much with YCharts, Rushi. Thank you for walking us through even what feels like a very small part, because we saw a lot of other things that you can do in there that you did not go over, but I have a feeling there's way more things to discover in the integration.
Yeah, definitely. And I know we only have around 30 minutes to an hour today, or else I could just keep talking about different functionality we have. But I think we hit the high level ones.
Awesome. Well, I did have a curious little question. So when you are looking at your holdings for broker dealers, is it supposed to show all of them, or does it show just a select few?
It will show you all your holdings from your portfolio. So I believe we support up to 500 holdings. So if you did have a portfolio that had, let's say 250 or so, you'll get that full rundown within your portfolio that you import from Redtail.
Excellent. So if you were maybe someone who isn't seeing all of your holdings, should you reach out to YCharts, or should you, if you're a Redtail integrator, should you reach out to Redtail, you think?
Yeah, I think you could definitely reach out to us and we can show you where to find that information. I did show the holdings tab within that portfolio view. That would probably be the best place to see all those holdings. But yeah, we could definitely help you out and show you some other spots where you can see that information.
Perfect. Oh, awesome. I know we are lucky to have the questions today. I know that it's hard when we get really specific ones about certain databases, but I think that that's awesome that you all offer that kind of support. So if you are struggling, or you do see that you're missing something, it's easy to get a hold of you all. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. And if you are a YCharts user, you do have your customer success rep that's always one call away. We also have a chat feature, which is awesome. They sit just down the hall from me, and they answer questions within seconds. So if you have questions, we are more than happy to help with them.
Is that just on your website? Can you just access the chat when you log in?
Yeah, even if you're logged out and you have a question, or if you're logged in, and we have a little chat bubble in the bottom right of every single page. So even if you're just looking to ask a one-off question, or if you wanted a longer conversation, they can give you a call, do a screen share with you. They're pretty helpful.
Awesome. Oh my gosh, that's that is such a cool feature to have, especially I know not everybody wants to talk on the phone anymore, but chat is definitely a good way around that.
Definitely.
Rushi, so I do see we have some questions that came in. Now, Rushi, would you mind reviewing exactly how you can connect or obtain the Redtail client information to integrate it with YCharts? I know that you went over it was super easy. Would you just mind repeating that?
Yeah, and let me just share my screen again so I can show where you can find that. So within Redtail, you should have account information for your clients. So I'm not sure if your account might be a little bit or structured a little bit differently than mine, but within mine, I have my contacts, but also on the home page, I believe there should be an accounts section where I can click and find all the accounts that are on my Redtail account. So I could click right here, and I believe right here, if you click on open, you can click within these underlying accounts, and that's where that information comes from that goes into YCharts. So all of this data right here, the account assets, that's what's going to come into build that portfolio within YCharts.
Beautiful. And I can clarify, if you are accessing through your home screen or your today page in Redtail, that is actually called your account dashboard. So it is a little bit different than if you're accessing it directly from the client profile, for example. Awesome. Okay, thank you so much for clarifying that. See, that's super easy. I never would have thought that a connection like this could be made that easily. And then, Rushi, if you wouldn't mind just clarifying what is the cost of YCharts? And then do you know if we have any sort of special deal with Redtail?
Yeah, so the cost does kind of differ based on how many users you might have, or how many subscriptions you have. But yeah, we are a subscription feature, so it is an annual subscription cost that normally is around $6,000 per year for one user, but that differs. I believe we do have a promotion. I'll have to check with our marketing team, and we can get that on the recording link, but I believe you will get a discount for attending today's webinar. So
awesome. Hey, I love all the incentive. Thank you so much for clarifying that. It's a subscription feature, which is so cool. So then you can just keep it all year. You don't even have to worry about it.
Exactly.
Awesome. Now, Rushi, if you're a user and there are no holdings in Redtail, you don't have any accounts in Redtail, is there another way to get the holdings in potentially to YCharts?
Yeah, we definitely have a pretty seamless way to do that using using like an Excel CSV file export and import. So a lot of our users, if you have that account data within whether it's your brokerage or even if your client emails you their holdings in an Excel sheet, it's super easy to then just upload that into the portfolio creator within YCharts. So we're happy to show you how to do that. It is a couple extra steps, which is why we did the integration. But yeah, if you don't have that underlying account data in Redtail, we could definitely help you get that information in.
Perfect. Now, okay, could you go through the chat feature to initiate that process?
Yeah, definitely. They will help you with that for sure.
I love that. I'm sorry. I just think that's so easy and accessible. Oh, so nice. Oh, awesome. Well, Rushi, I just had a question I really would love to know, and I asked this of all our integration partners, but now if you had to pick, what would you say is the most unique feature of YCharts?
Wow, that's a good question. I think unique is probably that quick flows section I showed towards the end, where you're able to just with one click of a button pull up like a chart or a scatter plot or a data tool or view your client's holdings. It's pretty unique because we're all about wanting to make sure that you save time. So it's kind of a time saver. It's always on the right side of your screen. You can click on it and go anywhere within YCharts. So, and it's customizable. So it's pretty cool. I'd say it's the most unique feature and gets you learning the product pretty easily.
Oh, that's awesome. Yes, I would have to agree. That was one of the most interesting things I did see today, especially because then, I mean, you can take that and you can show it to your client. And like you said, save yourself some time. And I think everyone who's participating or potentially watching now definitely can relate that clients love to see something tangible. They want to be able to see those charts or potentially even just see a list of kind of what exactly the breakdown is. And that is so cool that you can do it so easily through YCharts.
Yeah, definitely. And the fact that, nowadays we're doing a lot more Zoom calls than we used to 5 years ago, having YCharts up during a screen share and just pulling the data on the fly. If your client says, hey, what happened in 2020 or what happened in 2013, you're able to pull that data right away just by having YCharts open.
And that's awesome and I want to bring it back to that point that you said earlier. It's all about saving time because your time is truly invaluable, especially with your business and with your clients. You want to make sure that you're getting the absolute most out of all of your workday hours.
Definitely.
Awesome. Okay, well, I don't see any other questions flooding in here. Rushi, while we're waiting, I'll give everyone like a 2-minute notice. If you have a last-minute question, go ahead, throw it into our QA. But Rushi, if you had any closing thoughts or just anything you wanted to share while we're waiting, we're more than happy to listen to you. You did a great job today. Thank you so much for joining us. This was awesome.
Yeah, of course. And it's been really great being here. And I love talking about this integration because it's been such a good one for us. But yeah, I mean, I think just key takeaways or next steps for us, if you're interested in checking out YCharts, definitely visit our site and you can set up a trial. You can let us know you watched the webinar and even name drop me that I said that there may or may not be a discount, and hopefully they'll be able to help you out with that. But yeah, definitely excited to talk to all of you today, and hopefully you saw some value in that integration and YCharts in general.
Awesome. All right, everyone. Well then, thank you so much again for joining us on another Building Your Tech Stack with Redtail. Once again, this was Rushi Shah from YCharts, and we are so happy to have hosted you today, Rushi. Thank you so much again for joining us. We will be back on 3/7 with Bento. So thank you all so much, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jackie. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks so much for joining us today for this particular session. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to give us a call at 800-206-5030, option 3 for support, or just shoot us an email over to support@redtailtechnology.com. Thanks a lot and have a great day.